What's up, everyone? We're back with episode number 5 of Resilience Unscripted. Today we have our special guest, and by special, I mean literally almost related like family to me. We're doing this outside on Revere Beach. We are here with the one and only Blake Media, Blake Rickerson.
I can roll with that. Hey, what's up, everybody? This is Blake. What's happening out there? Thank you for having me on, Marissa.
Jesus Christ, we're like family. You don't even know my name anymore?
Yeah. So, this is a perfect setting. There's a lot that needs to be said, really,
There really is.
for clarity and things like that. But yeah. So, what do we start? Where you want to start at?
So, where do you want to begin? Let's talk about how we met, because we met at a really great event in Lynn, and we actually met because you photobombed my picture with someone else, and I looked up and this man was behind me with his arms out on top of a folding chair, and it was you.
Yeah, I remember that. That was in the summer of 23.
Yes, it
I
was.
remember the other people in the photo too.
I do too.
And I have a habit of doing stuff like that. I do it for the fun of it, for the energy, and the example or the trend that it may set for others.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, so from that point, as a matter of fact, I attempted to take a picture of whom I didn't know was your father or your mother, and he kind of moved to the right
Of course he did.
or to the left. So I remember that. And it was a little, I don't know, from that point on, there was the opening of that other recovery center.
We did. We met at an event in Lynn, and then we met at the soft opening of a recovery center in Lynn.
Yes.
And then we went back and we met at the grand opening of the same recovery center, which was like a month later.
June and July, about 23.
Yep.
Yeah.
And that's how we kind of started our
journey.
I mean, we went from not knowing each other, literally photobombing a picture.
There was you, Paul, and myself. Not that Paul, another Paul. I think his name. And we took a picture in front of it. That was our second picture together.
Yep. But you also interviewed me
you
inside the recovery center.
I remember. Yeah. So, which leads me to say I interview people all the time.
He does.
It doesn't matter who you are, what your cultural, social, or political background is. You got something to say, I want to hear it. And for me, it creates a healthy atmosphere, and it gives the other person or persons some comfort and some freedom to do something that they're not used to doing. So that is how we connected. And as a matter of fact, there was a job you were working at.
Yes, there was.
That was our third picture.
I invited him to come by.
Now that I think of it.
I said, hey, come by. Why don't you come by? Didn't know we weren't really supposed to have visitors coming in and out, but whatever. If you know me, I kind of do my own thing. Anyway, you came by, introduced you to everybody, and then we just stayed in contact from there. And I think the next thing that we did from that point going forward was I had opened Mario's Mission in 2023. You had opened Blake Media the January of 2024. And then we started doing joint ventures together with both nonprofits, going into about how can we help people, how can we further educate people about recovery and about addiction awareness, prevention, things like that. And Blake and I just hit the ground running because we literally partner up with as much as we can.
How many?
We've done Sober Bash number 1, which was in Peabody. We did Sober Bash number 2. We did the Christmas event.
That was in Peabody.
Yeah. We did the Recovery Month in Winthrop, which wasn't a fundraiser. It was just an awareness type of event that we put on for the town, my hometown of Winthrop, where I was born and raised. Wanted to give back and do something nice for that area because it is really something that's not talked about a lot there. It is now more recently with the new program they have there, which knock on wood, wherever it may be. I say that I think every episode that we have. They needed it, but Blake and I wanted to do something of our own. And we did that. I mean, we've done probably about 5 or 6 events.
We did one last summer too. That was where I walked around and I was counting everybody for all of the setup, the
Sober
business setup.
Bash.
That was like that was whole
That
bash?
was the original Sober Bash.
Right. That was like 300 and something people.
303.
Yeah, 303.
That's
Yeah.
what you told me.
Yeah, 303. Yeah. So, but that place in Peabody we did twice.
We did. The Christmas
Yeah,
event we did twice, which
yes.
now I think going forward, we can both say that due to the fact that not everybody celebrates Christmas, I think Sober Bash is our main objective every year. That's probably what we're going to stick with because, granted, Christmas is a holiday celebrated by most, it's not celebrated by everybody. And I think that where we do best with educating and advocating for the people that we serve is definitely Sober Bash. And this year's was put on during the rain. We had, wonderful guests. We had Exit Fame with us. We had Johnny Bart with us. We had plenty of people that came out and enjoyed, even though it was pouring out, the event, but it wasn't as great as the original because of the weather. So I think next year, obviously, we're going to have a rain date.
Yeah.
We definitely need a rain date.
So another thing that's tied into that, as far as my own personal goal, and that would be my mother passed in December 8th of 2020, and I sat on her deathbed and I looked up at the plaque on her wall, and I said that I was going to carry the torch from here. And that only meant that because she worked in shelters and drop-in centers in Boston, and I got to see what that was like for her. So by me carrying the torch, it was obviously going to be a little different. And so I began to travel. I began to travel all kind of everywhere in the country: Philadelphia, L.A., Seattle, Atlanta, Washington, and I just kept going. And I've been to about 15 cities. I want to say a lot of those cities I document a lot that was going on. I stay in contact with about 5 people to this day. And what it did was allow me to see that this addiction thing was much bigger than I had ever known because I did not know. And as a result, I decided that I would make this my mission and I'll continue to do this forever and ever. And of course, it's evolved because I do community television, podcasting.
Mm-hmm.
I have a TikTok following with close to 20,000 people. I'm social media driven. Of course, there's always room for improvement. But I have a lot of stuff. I have a lot of stuff. Every event that you can't think of, I have been to. Stuff that no one's seen. And so as each year that gets closer, I share some of that. So as a reminder, like when we have what is known as memories when they come up, stuff like that. So, people get to see. As a matter of fact, I'm doing it now with the More event.
Yep.
Yeah. So anyway, that was and is a part of my mission. As of now, I am doing outreach, which is what I was doing then while I was traveling. But I'm doing outreach, what we call officially.
Mm-hmm.
I'm officially an outreach worker, and I appreciate that work because it's allowed me to reflect back on what my mother used to do, dealing with people that are in situations that vary. And my job is most importantly and most notably to be of service. And so, which is what was the case with her. And I've got to meet a few people that have actually worked with her at where I work at, and another center which she worked at that another person was telling me about her. As a matter of fact, I do presentations at other centers as well, which I'm going to be doing. Well, Recovery Month is coming up, and
It's a huge month.
And Recovery Month, and this month, so there's going to be a lot going on. And my camera and my iPads will be hanging out. We'll be hanging out.
So August is Overdose Awareness Month.
Yes, yeah.
And September is National Recovery Month.
Yeah.
So between August and September, how many events do you think you're going to be hitting?
Well, I have them in an email and I have them in notes. So right now, next week I'm going to be busy. The week after that I'm going to be busy, and the week after that I'll have a day in between to like
Rest.
pull my stuff out and upload it and do what I do with that stuff and put it in the album. Now I'm not sure if this is going to take place. However, myself and I think 3 other people are supposed to be going to an injection site in Rhode Island. I do it for the educational and to share the information and my understanding of it. How it works, how it doesn't work, what's the pro and the con. But anyway, that's another upcoming thing that I've been thinking about. Uh, Future events, Amsterdam next summer. Amsterdam next summer. I'm a person that has a visual. I want to see it. I want to see how this stuff works. And the more I see how it works, I can conclude for myself, you know, how to and how not to. I'll put it like that.
So let me ask you something before we dive any deeper into the present of what we do. What got you into, besides your mom doing what she did for her work and how you looked up to what she did in her field of work, what got you into wanting to do service work and recovery? Were you struggling with something when you were younger? Because obviously I know your background, but we want to share it with our listeners. What's your background and how you got into working into recovery?
What's my background and how I got working
Because you have an anniversary coming up.
working in recovery? Yes. Well, my background working in recovery. See, I didn't work in recovery. I've only recently started working in recovery. I just never worked in it, and it happened when it was supposed to happen.
Mm-hmm.
Now, my background, I have a lot of substance use, which 99% of people that I know in that background do, but that's not why I got into it. It had nothing to do with it.
How many years do you have?
August 21st will be 22 years.
That's right.
And yeah, so
I wanted you to say it.
It's something that I want to challenge. I want to challenge the things I saw, why they're so prevalent, and the effect that they have on people. And there are people that used to stand shoulder to shoulder with me here when I say that are no longer, because they chose a different path, or they chose to embrace their fears versus their passions. Me, I embrace my passion, so
Same.
I continue to, push the boundaries, challenge standard operating procedure, and keep saying it as I understand it to be. And that's how you grow. That's how I grow ultimately anyway. Because as I said a few moments ago, there's always room for improvement.
Always.
So I'm always improving and sharing information, sharing stuff with people. And because whom I can't reach, you can reach. And whom you can't reach, I can reach. And that's the ultimate test of how we deal with things in general. Because I can't reach everyone. Some don't want to be reached. But I will tell you this. It doesn't matter who they are. They will pay attention to what you're saying.
That's
this
right.
I know.
Do you think that the service work that you and I have done has made an impact on anybody?
I'm sure it gets talked about.
Oh, definitely does.
I'm sure it rents spaces in people's heads. So that's called cause and effect.
We have a lot of that on
That's
people.
the black and white, cause and effect. I tend to ruffle people's feathers.
Same.
Because I'm honest about what my experiences are. I'm honest about what these things are. I say what I see. And most people in fight or flight mode, they run. Which is why a lot of us in recovery, we don't get to spread our wings or accept ourselves for who we are, or that 10th step. We just kind of duck and scratch where it don't itch. And a lot of us just get stuck. I don't want to be like that. I want to be free to be myself and allow myself to grow and move on my own terms, which is what I've been able to do and will continue to do.
But do you think the work that we've done by putting on these events, putting on these fundraisers, going to different places, like I know you and I went to a city hall and we did an informational
setting. I was looking at that video yesterday. Day before yesterday.
It was more of like an informational setting, but do you think that what we were able to display for information to shed awareness on the epidemic that we're currently in with opioids and drugs, do you think that we're able to make an impact on people? Like, let's say a 24-year-old girl walks up to our table who's struggling with a heroin addiction. Do you think that we're able to make an impact on her by what we can provide for resources?
Yes, absolutely.
Okay.
And I will say that having access to other organizations, that people that I meet along the way that are in need of assistance, I'm able to assist them. Generally speaking, they're on the spot by way of a phone call, by way of some directions, by way of information to connect that person to need to get into a detox. Okay, let me see what I can do. Stuff like that. That's readily available. And it's good because you're helping someone. Again,
we have a podcast
being of service. There are so many ways you can be of service by being consistent about what you stand for in the world of recovery is also and absolutely being of service.
Do you believe that while working in this field and in this industry, you have to have a strong backbone for what you believe in?
That's for anything. That's for anything.
But
That's
I feel
just
like this industry is a little different though because people are easily swayed. So,
for
do you
me.
feel that you have to have a strong backbone to thrive in this industry?
For
Because there's a
me,
lot of noise.
it doesn't matter what it is. You if it is you have to have a strong backbone. You have to be built a certain way. I put it like that. Mentally,
Mm,
you have to be like a lot of people that in the recovery world get burnt out. I won't get burnt out
same.
because I don't move like a lot of people move. I move a little differently. I know what's what. I see things for what they are, and I'm not looking for people to. I'm not looking to. What's the word? I'm not looking to be like Mike. I like Blake better. No, it fits the script. Yeah. So that acceptance part is powerful when the questions asked. Have backbone. Well, first of all, you got to accept who you are, and move from there and keep moving from there. Be able to take those hits that come along the way because it's not a free ride. Definitely not a free
No.
ride.
So we talked about how we met. We've talked about the things that we've done. We've talked about your background and how your influence of what you've seen as a child and like others around you, their work, how it's impacted you of wanting to get involved in this field. Let's talk about where we see Blake Media in the next 10 years. Because I see it on planes, I see it on billboards, I see it on MBTA buses, I see it all over the place. So where do we see Blake Media?
Now, y'all heard what she said, right? Okay, so that means she's gonna be a part of us to push that. Well, right. What I see Blake Media doing is what he's doing now. What as a company now, consistency most important. Keep putting content out there. Keep pushing the boundaries. Keep having an impact on people, infect and affecting people.
Mm,
Let it rent space in their head, which it already does,
it does.
but let it rent more space in heads because what end up happens is it becomes a table talk. It
Mm,
becomes a conversation. Controversial or not doesn't matter. The fact that it's renting space in heads, this I know. And because I know what I'm saying, I know the content I'm putting out. It's like, how's that happening? It's
hmm.
easy. I don't wear a mask. I'm who I am.
No,
And
no, no. Hold on. We don't wear muzzles.
no, I don't wear a mask. I have to keep it like that. But the thing with as far as the
We're very
future,
open and honest about how we operate.
I mean, I'm doing everything that I should be doing as far as that future of what you just said. How far
Mm.
that's going to go, I don't know. However, it's all there. Everything is
Well,
lining up
I see us jet
just
setting.
like it's supposed to. Well, listen, let me tell you something. All the years, all the times I was taking planes crisscrossing the country, I sit by the window, I go first class, unless it's a 3 hour ride, then that's a waste of money. But 6 hour ride, yeah, first class where I can go to sleep. But hit
Right
video
out the
because I
window.
love to take off and I love to land, and you see that sun and that whatever just in the clouds mixed in. So those things are created for me, and I use a part of my when I'm editing a video or something like that. And I have tens of thousands of pictures, tens of thousands of pictures, and most of my stuff is recovery related. Most of it is recovery related.
So here's a question for you. Would you go to a non-recovery related event?
I've been to them.
Okay.
I've been to several
Can we
of them,
talk about some?
and I have that too. I go to the last thing that I was at was actually that was work related, not work related, but the mayor was actually has been going to different cities, towns throughout the Boston area, and thanking organizations or city officials and people, everyday people, for the work that they do to keep people aware about what's going on and being assistance to people. I got to
Mm-hmm.
talk to the captain or the top dog of the police, the mayor, a few other people. So that was interesting. I've been to parades where I talk to people.
Mm-hmm.
I just don't hit the video. I want to talk to
But public
people.
speaking is one of your fortes. It comes naturally. It just
It's a
rolls off
gift.
your tongue.
It's a gift that I have. I don't care if you spoke Chinese. I'm gonna sit there. Where's the interpreter at? I'm going to have them people like, wow, he said that and he meant it. Yeah, I have a passion about what I embrace. If I embrace it, I'm going to make it mine. But at the same time, I keep the door open for others to come along and be like, hey, how do I get involved with that? Find the mirror. I always tell people, find the mirror. Mirror means dig within, look within.
Yeah.
That personal inventory. That personal inventory where we see things, it's like, oh, wow. People have stuff that they can do, but they're uncomfortable, they're scared because they don't want the criticism. Criticism is what strengthens me, sharpens, keeps me sharp.
Criticism is what strengthened me to go forward. If
Gotta
I
keep
didn't get
moving.
criticized, I don't think I'd be doing what I'm doing today. I tend to put myself right out in the middle of it like a target and fire away, baby, because I'll tell you, there's nothing stopping me. I'm going to continue doing what I got to do. And I got that from you because I remember calling you a couple times being like, that's it, I'm throwing in the towel. I'm done. And you were like, don't you dare. And I don't think I could find anybody better to partner up with and do things with than you because we're like the dynamic duo. You push me to do things that I may necessarily not want to do. I push you to do things that you may necessarily not want to do. But at the end of the day, we have to get comfortable being uncomfortable because if we don't, we're going to be stuck in a 2x4 box that we're never going to get out of. We're never going to strengthen our
Like
abilities.
a lot of people.
Oh, yeah.
Like a lot
We're
of
never
people.
going to strengthen our abilities to go forward in life and see what we can accomplish because we're going to be stuck in a rut and we're going to be comfortable there. And I don't want to be comfortable. I want to be uncomfortable.
And it's all fear-based.
Oh, it definitely
Fear-based is the bottom line to all of that stuff. And it's something that when we are alone, we see it, we look at it, but when we go out into the world, that mask comes back on, and it's like, oh, let me get to my next destination, and feeling less than. It's like feel your best and be your best, even when you fall short. It's being your best that counts because this builds psychological momentum, stuff like that. Which is why this podcasting, I slam this all day long. Community podcasting. Uh, Anything else that I'm doing. I have, like this morning, I was up at 6 a.m. Last night, I cut up a bunch of stuff. I said, I'll post this one tonight. I'll post this one later on, and so on and so forth. And I'm getting in the habit of doing that because I have so much. And sometimes it's overwhelming. So I want to share and share and share.
So how many pieces of photos and videos do you have in your phone? I know you told me earlier, but I want you to tell the listeners.
Let me see.
What did they tell you have?
70 something thousand. 70-something thousand. And
not 100.
Of that,
1,000.
6,800, 6,700 videos.
Okay.
Now I have 2,100 duplicates. That's going to be like hours worth of deleting.
Mm-hmm.
But I'm going to get that done.
You can click one button and it just disappears, right?
No, duplicates. I want to keep one of them. Yeah, keep one. But the thing is, with this stuff, I spent 2 days consecutive putting everything in albums, a lot of stuff in the albums. And I'm at 3.7 of 6 terabytes.
How many followers do you have on TikTok?
17 something.
Can you drop your TikTok handle for the listeners?
Blake Media 65.
On TikTok.
Yeah, at Blake Media 65.
At Blake Media 65 on TikTok. All right. So we covered all the bases. But I want to know, in 2026, what do you think we're going to accomplish?
What's going to be more of the same, consistency. However,
we always amp it up a level.
What I talked to you about a few days ago.
I think this morning.
This morning. That's something that we're going to work on.
Yes, it is.
That's something I'm already working on. And some things you just...
We're not going to mention it.
Don't say.
You know.
You just don't say.
But
anyway, yeah, that's something that I'm working on. And I'm just the moment, the timing. And when it happens, it happens.
Yeah.
When it happens, it happens.
I see myself furthering to Disco Sober Homes. I see that changing the way that I do it now to what I want to further it as. I don't want to do unisex, but I want to branch out. So if you get the direction of what I'm saying, I have a women's house right now. I kind of want to make it to have a men's house. For every women's house, I'd like to have a men's house. So we'll see where that goes. Then every house gets named after somebody personally that I know that have passed away. from addiction. So I want to see that expand. I will be graduating in 2026, so I'd like to see what I can do with that degree and furthering my career and getting my LADAC. But I don't know. I think the rest will just keep under wraps until we host our big grand opening party.
Yeah. Yeah, there's so much that can be done to fulfill that, whatever it may be. And for me, right now, this media thing, I'm it's just moving in the right direction, and I'm letting it happen when it's supposed to happen. I'm not trying to push everything any to the left or right or whatever. I'm just going to let it be and just keep allow it to be what it is, because each day that I wake up and look at it and look around, it's like, wow, I can't believe that I've been able to accomplish this in such a short period of time. And the thing is, here, not to make no one take this, but to let it be there, let it sit, let it be shown, and go on about your business, because people are going to sit and watch. People are going to sit and they're going to learn from it. They're going to do this. This is what people do. It's psychology. It doesn't matter if they love you or can't stand you. They're going to
They're still
watch
gonna
you,
watch.
and they're going to learn from it. So the experience for me is to keep the door open, because as I said, whom I can't reach, you can't, or for anyone for that matter, because when you see someone on the other side and that person question, well, how did that happen? Well, it happened because they were honest about it. And honesty is the key to me. Be honest about how you feel about a situation. You can better deal with it, versus faking it and lying to yourself.
So if you were gonna sit down with the newcomer, and I ask this every episode that we have, if you were gonna sit with the newcomer, what's one piece of advice you would give them?
Piece of advice I would give them? Well, before I give them advice, I would ask them about their situation, because then I'll be in a better position to know where they're at to share with them. And that the most notable thing that I'm going to say is, I strongly suggest that you get connected. Get connected. By getting connected, that's pregnant with meaning. That means going to meetings. That means using this.
Yep.
That means raising your hand.
Participating.
That means your participation is most important, because that's when you start to grow. That's when the ideas start to flourish, because you're listening to different people say things and you are connecting these dots in life. And it's like, whoa, wow. Before you know it, 2 months go by. This newcomer hasn't had anything in the system in 2 months, feeling better about her or himself. So that's will be newcomer. Tell me about you. Where you from? What did you do? How was it? We know the answer where it led you. I know the answer where it led you, and where it's going to keep leading you. But it's like that conversation with me and that newcomer is me getting the hole, showing that newcomer how I got out of the hole, and allowing her or him to say, well, wait a minute. Because people here 22 years, but this wasn't a number. This was lifestyle. This was hardships. This was racing to catch the bus that I missed for the 5th time. This was a whole bunch of stuff that I experienced in order to get where I'm at, which is the consistency to stay on this side of town, regardless of what happens. The bruises and the bumps along the way shape and define you, and what you're built like.
So, have we hit all of our talking points?
Let me go back.
All right.
I want to emphasize more on service work, because service work is important. I see people all the time, and oftentimes we tend to separate service work, because in our head we hear the word recovery and we put a cap on it. But for me, service work is about pushing the boundaries. And like I said, I move differently because I think differently, and I challenge people on what they say that this is. Well, why this if this is it? Well, then it is or it's not. So service for me is to grow as I understand things, and like I said, a challenge standard operating procedure. What we generally say something is it really? Well, what about when new information comes along? Then what? You have to change with the information. So by seeing that and doing that, and understanding that culture is psychological, culture is emotional, and people oftentimes deal with emotion more than they do intellect. I'm more intellect than I am emotion.
Mhm.
And when you're outnumbered by emotion, you walk away from them, let them be, because they're not dealing with intellect, because they can't be told something because they're emotionally charged.
Mhm.
I'm saying that to say like how culture is emotional and psychological, and to understand those things, it's like service. Get out there, put yourself out there, open your mouth, say something, be impactful more than anything. Be impactful, or truthfully, honestly impactful about what you're saying.
Yep.
Blake Media.
Blake Media for you. So, this wraps up episode number 5. Blake, thank you for coming on this week and sharing your background, your story, and all things recovery with us. Tune in this Wednesday to hear this drop, and next Wednesday for episode number 6.
Word.